Hey YouTube, this is Ziggy J. So today I'm doing kind of a different video. I'm going to be talking about food and what's a whole food, what's a processed food, and what constitutes as like a serving size of any particular food. And I'm just going to be reading a couple of nutrition labels here. So here I've kind of did like some different snack items. I have some chips, some peanut butter, peanuts, sunflower seeds, and some craisins. And I've kind of measured out their serving portions in each one of these little bowls. So we'll start over here. So here we have some Utz potato chips. Now, first I'm going to go over what's whole food and what's processed food. So we typically think of whole foods as foods that can be found in nature. Like, for example, I can go out in nature right now and pick a food, harvest it, bring it back into my kitchen, and eat it the way I got it out of nature. That's a whole food. So we tend to think of our whole foods as our poultry, fish, eggs, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, beans. These are all whole foods. Foods that have been harvested and you can bring to your dinner table. Processed foods are foods that you can't find in nature. So they've either been minimally processed or they've been excessively processed. Things like chips, cookies, candy bars, fast food, soda, juices, things that you cannot go out in nature and pick from a tree. Chances are it's been processed in some way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna start from the left, work my way over to the right. So we have some potato chips. We know that potato chips are processed. You cannot go out and find potato chips in nature. They have been processed in some way. They've been fried. They've been processed. So let's look on the back at the nutrition label. So we have a pretty big nutrition label here, all printed out nicely for us. So let's see. Our serving size for these potato chips is an ounce, which is about 20 chips is what the bag is telling us. And 20 chips will give us 150 calories. Now, unless you're taking potato chips and you're dumping them in a bowl and eating them like that, which is something that you should never do. But unless you're doing that, 20 chips for 150 calories isn't bad. However, if you look in my bowl, this is about 20 chips. The problem with this is, look at these chips. They're not uniformed. A lot of them are broken up in pieces. A lot of them are bigger than the other. So how do you know what constitutes as a chip? Well, you don't know. This could be 20 chips. This can be 150 calories. This could be less. This could be more. You just never know. The bag doesn't really tell us what really is a chip. It just says 20 chips. This is about 20 chips right here. So with potato chips, if you're going to eat them, of course, any nutrition expert would advise you to stay away from this. This is a highly processed food, which means it's going to have a lot of fat, which it does, 2 grams saturated fat, 95 milligrams of sodium, doesn't have barely any fiber, barely any protein in it. So it's definitely not a nutritious food. It's not going to really give your body what it needs. It's literally just a junk food. So if you're going to eat something like this, I would probably cut the serving size in half and just do 10 chips or even 5. I would not even do close to 20. This could be acceptable, but I'll probably even do less than this just because you're dealing with a highly processed food. And no, I'm not advocating to eat this, but we live in a real world with real people with real circumstances. So these chips are not popular for no reason. People buy them. So if you're going to eat them, be wise. If you're going to be on some kind of diet, be wise about it. So these are the chips. Get that out of the way. So here we have peanut butter. And a lot of us love peanut butter. It's a childhood favorite. We give our kids peanut butter all the time. And here I have 2 different brands. I have Skippy And I have a more of a Smart Balance brand. I'm just going to go through the nutrition labels for both, their serving sizes, and what those serving sizes mean, and whether they're whole or processed. By the way, these are processed. You cannot go in nature and find these. These have been processed, probably minimally processed, but they're still processed. Let's see. So for Skippy, we read a nutrition label. Let's see if I can focus on that. We have roasted peanuts, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oil. That's a heads up right there. Hydrogenated vegetable oil, cottonseed, soybean, and what is that? Rapeseed oil to prevent separation, and salt. So what they mean by separation is when you see the oil in the peanut butter separate from the peanuts, which is not a big deal. It's just not a pretty sight, but it's not really a big deal that it does that. But that's what they mean by that. Of course, hydrogenated vegetable oil is vegetable oil. It's very processed, so you might want to steer clear of that. Now we have 2 tablespoons of this is going to give us 190 calories, 2 grams of fiber, 3 grams of sugar, 7 grams of protein, and 3 grams of saturated fat. So this is a processed food, very processed actually. And it boasts about how it gives you 7 grams of protein, but 2 tablespoons of this gives you almost 200 calories. That's a lot. That's a lot of calories for just 2 tablespoons. Here's what a tablespoon looks like of peanut butter. So this is, as you see, a measurable 1 tablespoon. That's not a lot. We spread about maybe one of these on one slice of bread when we're making peanut butter and jelly. That's not a lot at all. So 2 of these gives you almost 200 calories plus the calories from the bread. Let's take a look at this. This is about the same thing. The ingredients on this is peanut butter, dried cane syrup, salt, molasses, and palm fruit and flaxseed oils. So it's slightly healthier, not too much. It is lactose free, it's vegan, it's non-GMO. And it's about the same serving size. 2 tablespoons gives you 190 calories. Same amount of protein, maybe 1 more gram of fiber, same amount of sugar, and I think it has the same amount of saturated fat as the Skippy did. It's a little bit healthier, but not really. If you're going to eat peanut butter, I would definitely not treat it as a main dish or a entree item, meaning in the form of a sandwich. I would probably put it on like maybe graham crackers or like rice cakes or something like that. Maybe spread a little bit of it on fruit. But these are 2 different brands of peanut butter, and they're both saying that 2 of these will give you 190 calories. That is the same amount of calories for just 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. But we all know peanuts have fat. So when you're adding oil to that fat, now you see how it's oily looking and shiny looking because that's the oil separating from the peanuts. Now that's not what this is. This has an ingredient in here that keeps it from separating. This doesn't. So that's the difference between, whether you're getting things that are more organic, things that are not. In organic peanut butter, the oil separates from the peanuts. When you have peanut butter that's not organic, it doesn't. So you have to kind of beware when you're talking about organic versus non-organic. So moving right along, we just have some peanuts. These are dry roasted and salted. So I'm just going to go through the ingredient label for this real quick. We have 2% or less of the following: sea salt, sugar, cornstarch, multidextrin, corn syrup solids, smoked tortilla yeast, paprika, fruit color, spice, garlic powder, and onion powder. So they're very well seasoned. So we have 1 ounce, that's about 1/4 cup, which is what's in here. I didn't measure it out. So this is 1/4 cup of peanuts. That's That's about as much as you're going to put in a Ziploc bag and take it for lunch. That's not a lot at all. So one serving of this, so one of these, is going to give you 180 calories. This is almost a 200 calorie snack. That's outrageous. That is a lot of calories for just this. This is not a lot. This may be, if I can count with my eyes, maybe about 30 to 40 peanuts. That's not a lot. Look at the fat. We have 15 grams of fat, 2.5 grams of saturated fat. And get it to focus a little bit. There we go. We have 150 milligrams of sodium. That's not horrible, but it's not great either. 2 grams of fiber, 7 grams of protein. So it does give you a lot of protein, as peanuts normally do. We typically eat peanuts for its protein value. So this is a processed food. Minimally processed, but it's processed nonetheless. Now with this food, of course, you have to be careful because it does have a good bit of salt in it and a lot of fat and a lot of calories. So it's very calorically dense. So you can easily eat about 400 to 500 calories of these things if you're not careful. And that's just peanuts. So with these peanuts, would I get them? Sure, they're not a horrible food. A better alternative would be to go to your bulk section of your grocery store and get unsalted, because these are salted, if you really want peanuts. But they're not a bad alternative if you just have to have them. So moving on, so we have something that is a whole food, and that is sunflower seeds or sunflower kernels. So let's check out the back of these. All right, nutrition label on the back says it's just pretty much just sunflower seeds and canola oil. So that's pretty much all it is. So this is a whole food. You can go out in nature and grow these and bring them home and eat them just like this. Nothing has been done or changed or added to them. So we have a 1/4 cup. So this is 1/4 cup of these sunflower seeds look like. This is quite a bit. I don't really see anyone eating this many sunflower seeds at once. So it is a good serving. So if you eat that many, you would be getting 170 calories. So while 170 calories is still very close to 200, I don't really see anyone eating this many sunflower seeds. It's quite a bit. It's quite a lot. I don't really see anyone doing that. So this is a whole food. This is a very nutritious food. It has 3 grams of fiber, a lot of protein, 6 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 2 grams saturated fat. Not great, but the fiber will combat that. It's very high in fiber. Very good food to eat, and it's definitely whole food. So definitely recommend getting these to put on top of salads. Maybe put in yogurt. Put in some oatmeal. Just sprinkle on top of things. I don't see anybody just really seriously eating this many sunflower seeds at once. And of course, if you can, get them unsalted. If you have a salted variety, get them unsalted if you can. So last but not least, we have craisins. These are by Ocean Spray. They're very, very good, very, very sweet. And let's take a look at the back. So ingredients: cranberries, sugar, grape juice concentrate, blueberry juice concentrate, citric acid, natural flavor. Now, what natural flavor is, natural flavor can be a number of things. So I would probably go on oceanspray.com's website and research that a little bit and see exactly what they mean by natural flavor. But really all this is dehydrated cranberries and blueberries with sugar added to it, the juice of those blueberries and cranberries, and then maybe just a little bit of lemon. So we have 1 cup, 1/4 cup. So this is what 1/4 cup of cranberries looks like. So, or craisins. So it's not a lot. And with 1/4 cup, you get 130. So this is not a lot at all. What I would do was probably put these in like oatmeal. You can put them on top of graham crackers, put them on top of like yogurt. Just pop a couple in your mouth. but it's not a whole lot. And of course, again, this is not a whole food. It has been processed to some extent. But it's not horrible either. You do get some fiber in this, 3 grams of fiber, but it has a ton of sugar. 29 grams of sugar per serving is a lot of sugar. It's a lot. No saturated fat, of course not, but it has a lot of sugar in it. So you have to be careful when eating these, and they're very sweet. You can definitely taste the sugar in them. It's not hidden. They're very sweet, very sweet. And I have some off-brand dried cranberries as well, and they're pretty much the same nutrition label, 1/4 cup. Now, these are a little less caloric. I don't understand why, but they have 120 calories in them. Less fiber, a little bit less sugar. The ingredients is just cranberries, sugar, and sunflower oil. So these are slightly less nutritious, but in some areas, and more nutritious in other areas. This would be your best bet if you were watching out for calories. But yeah, would I get the craisins? Sure, just be sparing with them because they're very high in sugar. So just be very sparing with them when you're going to eat them. So that is my video, folks. Just wanted to kind of do a video on portion size. A lot of people stress out about what constitutes a portion size, how to read nutrition labels, what nutrition labels should look like. Remember, the shorter the nutrition label is, the better the food. The less processed the food will most likely be. Make sure you can read each ingredient, and that you can at least research the ingredients before you buy the food. Ultimately, your safest bet is to always go with whole foods. Always go with poultry, grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, so that you know that there's no processing done to them. You can add your own salt, fat, and sugar, so you know that it is very much regulated. And just make sure that you're just keeping as healthy as you can. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section for me, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Hey, thanks guys.